color entry system where you're only looking for a small candle, and the color is going to determine which kind of order we're going to put in. And the time frame is definitely critical to the whole thing. This is, if you set this to 1 hour, the rule set's going to be different for the 1 hour than it is for the 4 hour. And this is more of a scalper's setup, I figure. Right now you'd have a buy stop on, say, this pair. We get small, we get blue without any trail to it. This one here is a sell from this little rally up here. You would have had a sell stop, or maybe a sell limit got filled there. This one you got buy stops running. This one there's no trade. This one you have buy stops running. This is the 1 hour silver chart, and this is the gold chart here. You got buy stops running here maybe. You're about to get filled here either direction. So if you were short from this last rally, but you've got all these buy stops that have been stacking up, that's about 20 hours of blue. So that's a different situation. Here's a nice buy stop. A small bar. I got 100 on gold here. It's going to be like $1, but here it's 100 pips. So I'm using a 100 pip grid, but it just comes out to be. Here's a sell stop trailing on the 1 hour here, because you're always going to run the sell stops beneath the small counter color within the big big trend. Here was your only entry here, buy stop. So that's the rule system. Island of color in the big thing. Here's the island. Here's your sell on stops, or just when you see that color, pull the trigger. So right now, maybe you're selling that. I'd probably put in these sell stops. I think the problem here is that if you're going to figure that the time of day it is and everything, a lot of this involves not trading. I guess if you're long, you're just going to sit tight until the about maybe till 11 o'clock. So it looks like we're going to maybe retest that top and just let that go. Now another thing you could do is you could have a system of orders for these candy stripers, and these very faint attempts at a rally right at key top bottom, and this is the 1 period moving average on top of everything. So this is definitely a signal entry. This is a 1 hour chart, so I'm looking back. I'm filtered out. I've taken the filter down to about 4 layers. I got about 6 layers of smooth candles in here of various this and that's. You know, just set the settings are in here. All I did was take the colors down to, like, this is I think this is just 1 layer. I don't know what the settings are on this one, but the ones that are listed first are going to paint first on the screen according to MetaTrader. And this is my most smoothing I've done, and that pertains to, there's 4 settings inside there. 1, 2, 3, 4 that you'll see. It'll be like method, like MA, moving average, and I think it's like something else, some other word that means method and something like length, and I have no idea. But another thing is I set these wider on this overlay, and that's another thing I'm working on. I haven't quite dialed it in yet, but I want to make the blue kind of bigger. So I make this Dodger blue bigger to find out which one of these is the Dodger blue, and then go edit it. And I just hard edited all this stuff. When you zoom in like this on the 4 hour, it looks like this. You should be in sell mode, but the problem is you know, you just had this. In other words, this is, you can't be saying when this thing is going in a 150 pip range, you can't think in terms of, well, I've got that color, so I'm just going to blindly go along. You can only enter on the whatever you can. Now this baby blue here, you got stopped in, boom. You know, you made here baby blues, bam. Here a candy striper, another guy. A big contention zone here because you've got the this whatever I made this one. Maybe I should brighten that color up. But if I make the blues fatter, not only is it going to be a different color, but it's going to be a different width. So if I do that to it, and I have to track down which one of these, I got to write it down and hunt down that indicator. Now here I could save the template. I could find which one is the big blue one, and maybe it's this royal blue. And is that royal? I think it's just blue. So I'm looking for the just blue, deep sky blue. And now we just fatten that up. Here, I think it's Dodger blue. No, that's maybe a... So if I make one of these guys really fat, and of course this is like what the candle used to be, wicks. I just made these so they're all the same color, all the same width. And that was another thing. So if I make this really exaggerated, I should be able to hunt down this color in here. So make the blues really dramatic, and maybe that's going to help see the, I guess this is deep blue there then. Now that just totally makes that a more important visual. Now setting it up so that when you glance at the chart, you have no doubt which order you need to drop. When you see that the bulls make this attempt and they poke through up in here, and that happens on the 4 hour right at that pivot where this that would hopefully be your limit fills, where the this bottom here is becoming a top right on that hot wick. And then when this small blue's in here, you're always thinking buy stop, especially when it gets really small. This one just before it left the station, and this one here, you got a little chopped up there, but then if you had to stop in reverse order at these small greens, so the small greens are your entries, your only chance are yellows when you call them, but try to pick a chromatically opposite order. If you go to the New Zealand dollar right now, this was the scalp earlier on the half hour. We busted out. Not that's the it's the dollar New Zealand. So if you miss this train, this was the scalp, small blues, boom, you're out, or you're still holding something. But now you could jump on the Euro New Zealand train because it's about to roll over. So if you're going to follow the money, so to speak, like here was your sell order, a little bit buy, a little chopped up, but you made about 50 pips there, right? Here you're running the stacks, you're stacking up the buy stops. Here a little bit, but a little bit too much volatility for that. Here there's no chance to get long on the small blues, but maybe you've got a script for these rallies into, and what I didn't do on here, and I could do, is I could put a bar chart overlay here. I could put real candles on top of this, but I didn't want to get too carried away, because as soon as you do that, you cannot control the width of this bar. All the other stuff is what I did was I just turned off the line chart inside of MetaTrader so that I'm the one that controls the horizontal vertical. And I just made sure the line graph, well, it's white. So it's blending, it's hidden behind the moving average, or I can just turn it off. So I'm using the line chart only and letting the MetaTrader paint all the backdrops to the layering. And you can just choose whatever, you don't want to get whipsawed. And this is the way to alleviate some of the whipsaw that just the raw Heikin-Ashi here is just a little whipsawish, but in other words, it's a harder stop entry, and this is still smoothed out from a normal candle because this rally here would have been a bullish candle. But we've taken the bullish candles out, and here's your buy stop entry. You're still in too much of a volatility window, but you should be short according to the 1 hour traders. Now the 5-minute guys maybe have a fractal that they just jumped on, way back here. And they jumped on every time this thing was the other color on the 15. They're short on this fractal right there because they had a small, they got filled, they have protection up here. And here comes the close of the session, and the euro was able to hold this on the if I do a 1 hour mirror image here. Here was your sells for the here was your buy stop entry here, but you really didn't get the flip over here on the on this one. But here's your buy stop entry hard. But you weren't buying this pullback here. But you would have had another layer of filter just to get on pullbacks inside the major trend. So you're trend trading. If you're going to trend trade, you need to always be getting the buy low sell high factor going. So you're almost limit order entry on, like, even if you had a go ahead to be in this color, say here, you could have still got filled on some, I'm sure here somewhere it ripped back, but you certainly don't want to be chasing it. So it's already left. Besides, with this expansion in volatility makes it pretty much hands off for people that don't have the order banks that are deep enough to take advantage of that kind of psychodrama that only lasts for a little bit. I mean, it's kind of like, wow, the water's warm, come back in. Like, well, what are y'all scared about? Like, because I backhanded you across the room, like, you could take it personally? Come on, man, you really aren't you the sensitive type? So. But yeah, you can build your sensitivity into this this thing here. Now here's with the volatility backdrop. The white here is your volatility window. So you stay away from the market when, or you either have a script for when it's big like that. Hopefully you're already in. It means just stay in. And when it goes into these baby white ones, you're getting near the market's getting too quiet, and maybe it's time to reverse. You can make up any, like right here is very, it's just running out of gas. Now, if you're selling these structural rally into blue, you're always thinking, wow, maybe you're trading on the clock there. Now here, I should be getting filled and just about ready to get the hell out of this damn euro trade I've been on all morning here. So when we came down to this top here, this was the top becomes the bottom inside this blue also, if you consider this blue to be your support zone. So here was your 1 hour sell orders were any glimpse of green in the middle of a blue, and here was your glimpse of blue in the middle of green. And now it's kind of choppy, but I'm just trading it from the standpoint of the bounce off of this, where they kind of just had to fall into this 20 pip vault of stop out, which is a typical thing that happens in Forex, is this this kind of stop hole that's filling up here. And if you go back to that, man, I just can't see it. I never find a color that I like, but when I come back into this window here, And this is a 20 pip window. So if you queue this and you can know what these trades would have cost you, if you're going to back test your theory of this is, now say this is your stop or this is your entry window. And this is also the window that once they took out this low here, these wicks, this is when they did the classical ATM smash and grab. When they came back into this floor here, and you can use this Heikin-Ashi as like a market profile. So when you see these zones of blue, and of course they really probably wanted to take it back. Now this is the giant pool of 50 pips that when they did pull it back into there, had you been running a 10 pip grid, say, and you were short on this fractal. So the best of both worlds would be, is if you're short on this fractal, this is about a 15 pip window, and you get it filled, you got baby whites, which means, think about, volatility's drying up, and then you have the trend line structure on close that you broke out, pulled back, and okay, there's these trend guys got the go ahead because the guys that are on the blue team are always making money on the downside. But that party is when the party gets quiet. That's when you're going to get in for the reversal. Same thing. We have a green glimpse of hope in a giant downtrend, and you've got, just before that happened, you had a baby white cap. You had the don't shoot till you see the whites of their eyes kind of thing. And you had the very narrowing thing. Now, you could technically be long if you had a script that said, oh, just stay long when it's green, or manage a long position when it's green. Of course, Friday's action was an auction market where this was your only entry here on blue, and there's just a glimpse of blue here. You can make the blue, you can fine-tune that to how much you can still get whipsawed at some point, right? Nobody's going to... Of course, you can keep the whipsawing to a minimum if you're only launching orders that last 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 hours, 6 hours. Just like you have an employee, if you hire somebody for $10 a day, you're hoping that they can make $20 a day for you. And that'd be like, if you're going to risk $10 a margin a day, you're going to try to make $20 a day. Maybe that's going to be 3 trades. Maybe you're only pushing the button on the 15-minute chart so it would look like this when the market comes in. And of course, you're just going to tighten up. The rules stay the same, but you just tighten up the entries. So on the 15-minute, you've got a half hour of entry here for blue. Stop, explosion, bam, scalp, 10 pips. You don't make a lot of pips. And here you can get whipsawed. Here's your sell. It takes it down. If you were to, say, sell that in a structure mode, it would look like this. Say, you've got a sell limit. You're slicing it pretty thin on the 15, but as you can see, in just a 20 pip drift down, let's go to half hour. So you only have to think every half hour. Here's your only order entry here. Here you get chopped, and there's no trades. There's really no buy stops in here. There's no trades. But there is the market profile view of this cluster of blue here is going to be your possible place to get back in. So you're making this the only candle on the chart. Like, this is the only candle. And this entails sitting down and figuring out. I don't really know the structure of this smooth thing. I posted it, and some guy made this up a long time ago, and all I did was adjust the settings in here, and then I layered them, and it's all trial and error, experimental. What do you want to see on your chart? How do you filter out the volatility of these markets, and when do you say, the candle's too big to trade for me? The trend traders have to wait for these quiet zones to get in. They have to. Most of these trend traders are getting in on stop entries. When this market's bombastic, the only guys that are making money on this are the guys that bought here and they're sitting tight and letting their profits run. You cannot jump on these trains maybe on the 5 minute, you have to be hitting it. That is 4-hour chart. This here is an 8-hour entry for the trend traders. They went long on a stop here, break out a triangle, they're long. Came all the way back to the starting gate, they're so pissed. Why didn't I get out here? Why didn't I get out here at this last known support on the 4-hour? So this is a great filter. If you only did Heikin-Ashi, which is just this, I put it up on just the clod hammer style. So here you're short on this fractal, right? This is the tightest entry you're going to get, maybe. If you're on the 1 hour, maybe you keep your Heikin-Ashi just standard. But if you're going to get into these elaborate color wheel things, now it's going to be a different story, because now you can run this more of a heat map, and okay, there's nothing, I missed that entry. So here maybe you got buy stops running on the guppy right now because it's blue, it's going down. You counter trend enter on that. Same with New Zealand pound New Zealand, but anything could happen now. So here comes the close of Europe, and everybody looks like this guy's in the uptrend mode on the 1 hour. It's all squirrely here. I'm waiting for the pound to clean house on the buy stops here. Waiting for the euro against the yen to play catch up. Looking for the Australians to kill the dollar now. There's too much blue here. All day blue. All day blue. We got a problem. Waiting for the Dow. The Dow's crashing. The last chance to sell the Dow on small candle entry theory, or small smooth Heikin-Ashi entry theory. Here was your long. You're still long that New Zealand. That was the good trade of the morning. You got to buy on the 1 hour small blue. Boom. Hopefully you're just holding, waiting for the top of the hour for the scalps to clear out, and then step back. This is the laggard on the 4 hour, the euro. But on the 1 hour, you're already long, looking to run a trailing, and now the New Zealand is the only one. Euro to New Zealand is the only one that you could say, let me put buy stops here, because this may be going to join the party. Of course, looking at the New Zealand to the dollar, you're up on that. You're running buy stops on this. This is where you're hedging. You're getting in a certainly if the market should whip the other way. And maybe these orders only last for, say, 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. You constantly come back, refresh. If you have one script, but you have 15 currency pairs, you can do it, right? Now, if you had 20 scripts and 15 currency pairs, maybe not so much. Here, you got a buy stop running, right? You always know when you look at the screen, when you see you're going down, it's blue, maybe you put a buy stop for if it goes counter on you. Like if the party's over here, you're running sell stops the whole time this thing, because everybody does have protection on these trades. So you're going with everybody's insurance policy on stops. You're like, okay, But now when you get a small color, like if this thing's been going up forever, now you're going to think, if I get a small blue in the middle of this CAD, I've got to put in my buy stops, because look how much money I made before on that theory. Here, not so much, but the counter trend version of that, you cleaned up. And you actually had, the less you have of that color, the better. So, but you have to wait for that hesitation mode, that point. In other words, here was the rally up into this. Plus, it's also going to filter out. You're only going to have to draw this one trend line. Didn't even make it to it. So I'm all ready to get out of this trade already. Because top of the hour is coming. I just want to take something off the table. But and then, of course, the 4 hour version of Heiken Ashi is going to be less trading, less drama, less decisions to make. You only had, last week, you only had 2 buys on the euro, three buys on the euro, and about 2 sells, risking quite a bit of pips, but you're going to make a lot of pips. And here was your sell. So when you had the sell here on the stop entry, you had the buy on the stop entry. And here you had the sell. But whichever one's quieted down, now we could be entering this new channel here on the Swiss. This could be when I walk down this channel envelope, and maybe this is the head, this is the shoulder right now on the 4 hour, and here comes the euro to just kick it, and we're just gonna, this is the launching pad. We had to backfill, attempt to come back to here. We only made it back into this this zone here, but this was the pending order entry of the day because of this pivot. But you have the trend traders are going to tell you that it's bearish, right? But that doesn't mean too much. I mean, you want to be bearish for a little bit for these pullbacks, and this just makes it a lot easier to filter out some of the. And this is not any elaborate. This is just good old Heikin-Ashi. I just fattened up all these wicks to 4. I set it at 4, and I just took out the wick, really. So, yeah, I mean, if you had the patience to sit in some of these moves, right, and then the big trap here, 30 pip trap, came back into this last known bottom on the 4 hour, but this just cleans it up, and then you don't have to sit there and break out fib and all that nonsense. All you really care about is, can you verify that this top became a bottom, and you want to get in when they do this house cleaning down in this this like vapor lock zone down here. Damn, I don't have my rectangle on here. They don't give you the rectangle for some reason. I guess they just want to torture you. But here, to insert the rectangle, let's see, insert here. Okay, that's good to go. Hopefully the color is going to be usable. There you go, blue. So that's going to be your, you figure this big vault down here was the house cleaning zone, right? And they had to come down and grab that on before Friday's rally, but then they tried to come down there again, but they only came into when they started taking out these stops. But anyways, that's the Heikin-Ashi system, and this is the trend line system. But I think it's a good blend because there are times, you know, trends are obviously the only valid time to use stop entry, in my opinion. But you could trade the market too, or on shallow limits, maybe shallow limits and maybe at the market. But I don't know. I guess it depends on how much patience you have for these moves to unfold. I don't have too much. So I'm ready to get out of this trade already. I'm already over it. So wait for the top of the hour, I think. Yeah, so I'm supposedly in an uptrend here on the euro, but just looking to just go up about a few more pips here. I guess I should have got out here. It looks like they trapped all the bulls up here at the top. So for the scalpers, you know, they made their how many pips is that? Let's come down here. I don't know, it's like 40 pips there or something. If you bought down in this plunge zone. Anyways, maybe it just retest the top here. Here was the big reversal on the half hour for the euro dollar. Bob becomes a top, and let's go to the 1 hour there. That's not too quiet. I guess you just got to sit tight when it's like this. It's probably not done moving if it's volatile. I guess that's the one thing you can rest assured of. If the market's on fire, it's probably going to continue on fire, and the momentum's in your favor. So usually sit tight is the strategy, which is another difficult issue if you're impatient. And I guess that's why scalping's so needed as part of your system, at least. Maybe only on the 15-minute for some of these bursts of irrational exuberance for the moment, and then just get the hell out. Maybe that's it, right?